What's up, you guys? James Strickland here. Welcome to week 67 on my road to 700 pounds on bench press. This last week was Christmas, so those of you who celebrate Christmas, I hope you had a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Hope you guys had a wonderful week. I know I did. Had a lot of great time with the family and just hung out and ate a lot. Had some really good workouts, which I'll show you guys in a minute. But really, I hope you guys just had a great week. If you guys are new to the channel, so welcome. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. My name is James Strickland. I am going for a 700-pound raw bench press here in the near future. I've been chasing it for a while, hence you can see week 67. I get a little bit of slack for that sometimes, but there is absolutely no reason a goal can't take 100 weeks or whatever it needs to take. But welcome, and if you guys are not new to the channel, welcome back. I really appreciate you guys. I think we're up to like almost 11,000 subscribers, which is really surreal to me because just the other day, it seems like, I think the last year I was like 300 or something. So the channel has really, really blown up, and I really attribute that to you guys tuning into my journey and just following along and really giving me you guys support. I really, really appreciate it. This last week was absolutely phenomenal. Exactly what I was planning on doing this last week. I told you guys I was going to be in the mid 500s. We absolutely just annihilated the sets this week, and I think it's setting us up really, really good going forward. Really, really exciting. You know what? Before I even go any further, I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys the video. It's about 20 minutes long, so it's a little bit long this week. I'll keep it short and sweet as much as I can, but let you guys see exactly what happened, and hopefully you guys will be as excited as I am. So let's jump right into this week's weekly recap. So day one, I like to hit my heavy bench and upper accessories. I am wearing my Massonomics benching 315 shirt. Shout out to those guys. And I have my beautiful 10-year-old daughter, Kayla. She is going to be doing a lift off for me. She wanted to come and hang out. I've actually got a guest in the gym with me today from France. And he is a world-renowned bench presser as well. I will tell you guys here in a second who that is once you see him. My 315 warm up here, getting one rep there. Nice lift off from Kayla. Future powerlifter, world record breaker, most definitely. 3 quick here, moving on up. All right, so at Dubs Barbell Club here with Justin Dubs giving me the next lift off. 405, looking for a rocket here. You guys may or may not recognize this guy over here on the right side. He is from France, and he has come over. He is also a client of Jailhouse Strong, Josh Bryant, and his name is Baptiste Marche, and you can find him on Instagram. I'll tag him here at the bottom, but he has got a 518-pound bench press, and definitely moving up. He is in his young 20s, so he has got a lot of room to grow. But going to have him here for the workout today and have him give me a lift off here. We have got a top set here, starting with 520 for 5. Very, very excited to hit this. Last week, you guys may have seen, if you tuned into the recap, I hit 515 for a set of 5, and it went off without a hitch. First one's always just a little bit cautious, and then I get into the groove, and we are moving along. You may notice I'm moving my feet a little bit. During the rep, I don't move my feet, but I like to reset after each rep as much as I possibly can because it's very easy to get loose in the shoulders and the hips and everything else between the reps. And so while I'm taking my breath, I typically try to reset my toes just a little bit to get a little bit tighter, and then once I start the rep, there's no movement at all. All right, so the next set here is 530 pounds for a set of 5. Felt really, really good and ambitious today. I feel like, you know, we're moving up. We feel good. We backed off for a while. Time to start bumping this weight up a little bit and see how we feel. My best lifetime best for a set of 5 is 555 pounds. So we're really, really close to that, within 25 pounds. Started losing a little bit of tightness in the shoulders, and on the last rep was a little bit loose and wanted to stay as tight as possible. Lost a little bit of lockout strength there, but overall I am really, really happy with that. Very excited. That was literally the exact weight that I needed to work on for that day. So here we got my daughter Kayla, whose personal best at this point is 45 pounds. This was done actually a couple years ago. And so now, being 10 years old, she wanted to test out her new 1-rep max. Now, she doesn't hit the gym with me often, and she doesn't hit the gym often, so I don't recommend this for most lifters. So I would definitely recommend you have a great spot on this, and you don't just max out just because you feel like it. She got a nice set of 3 here, I believe. That was a warm-up. I'm going to chalk up a little bit and see what we can get. Little chalk clap there. Very much proud of this technique we got here. We're going to go ahead and set her up on the bench the right way. Move her in, and she's ready to go. A little loose there. We're working on technique. We'll get it. And so after a few sets, a little bit later in the day, she said, I want to go for another one. And I said, well, it's not smart to always max out. I said, so let's be smart about this. And I said, are you sure? I said, let's make sure you're warm. And so she wanted to go for a new 1-rep max here. And so I went ahead and bumped her up 10 pounds, making sure she's ready for this. Got the chalk clap there, but that's okay. I think she's in the zone. No smelling salt needed. Setting the shoulders. Some pointers from Dad here. Some last minute adjustments, and let's get it going. I'll get a solid lift off here. Going for 1 rep. Nice pause. Oh, she's going to 2. Oh. Well, hold on. 3. She wants another. And a little Spoto press on the end there. So 3 and a Spoto press. My goodness. Well, okay. So 45-pound 1-rep max from a couple years ago is now at a 3-rep 55-pound max. So we'll go with that. Good job, Kayla. All right, moving on. Some accessory work here. It's got weighted dips. Body weight's about 293. Just kind of working in these just a little bit to see how the elbows and the shoulders feel. These were a little bit irritating a while back, so we took them out. We're going to kind of ease them back in and see if we can't make them work. I actually felt really good with these. Not going too heavy on them, as you guys have seen probably in the past. I've gone upwards of almost 300 or more with this. So we're going to go with 110 here, added weight. Not too crazy, but we're definitely wanting to feel out. I really like weighted dips. I like what they give in terms of lockout strength. It's a great overall bench press accessory. It's probably my favorite bench press accessory, at least for the front side of things. Triceps maybe, but back is more like seal rows. So if I can implement these in my training without hurting myself or getting too out of the groove, or my elbows and shoulders hurting, then I definitely want them in there. So that's why we're testing the water here to see if we can fit them in. So far, so good. We're only at about a third of my max on this, so we still got some room to grow. We'll see what happens. This is Baptiste's girlfriend as well, over from France. So welcome these guys in. Had a good workout. Starting with some chain flies here on this chest fly accessory. 35 pounds in each hand of chain. It deloads on the ground, so it's a little bit easier on the elbows and on the pecs when you're not as when you're not at a good angle to be doing a lot of weight. Closer to the top, obviously you have a little bit more strength there. Your angle is a little bit better to handle the weight. So as you lift the chain off the ground, it loads your arm up with a little bit more weight. Gonna show a couple of Baptiste sets here. He did not bench press with me today. He was over here over in the U.S. for a meet and was in a little bit of an accident before the meet, and so he was not able to do his best at the meet. Was going for about 5:30 or so as a new max for him at about 220 body weight, and he ended up messing up one of his hand tendons. So bench press or pressing any kind of weight is kind of out of the question for him right now, but we can definitely hit some accessories, and drove about 250 miles from the Dallas area to work out with me today, so much appreciated. Doing some burnout sets here with the chain flies, really working those pecs and squeezing at the top. This is a great accessory in addition to the dumbbell flies that I do, the cable flies, and some of the other ones, and definitely working some pec work in here. Feels really good. Feels very much a complement to all the back work that I've been doing. Obviously, pressing is one thing. The back work, the tricep work, the flies, and the shoulder work is all going to come together to build a bulletproof foundation for a big bench press coming up. I'll show you guys a different angle here of the chain flies. This is the 50-pound in each hand burnout. That's all the chain that I could find. So we're supposed to do about 10 reps each, but because the chain was light in my hands, I wanted to feel it. So I had to get upwards of 20 reps to even feel a burn. So that's why I'm doing so high of reps on these particular ones. The next gym that I'm going to be at next week, I believe they have some different chains, so I may end up being able to go a little higher in weight. So we'll see what we can work in. I was a little bit tight there. I was going to go for another rep, and that was not going to happen. I was pretty much fully burned out. Telling them I could pretty much get any weight for 20 reps, but after 20, it's over. I'm going to go and do some actual strict seal rows here. Batiste is going to work on these with me, starting out with 2 plates on each side, 225 pounds. Really, really good back accessory. You guys have seen me do these before. I'm going to start off with 315 for 5, and really working on getting a good squeeze at the top. I typically use straps on these because I don't want grip to be a limiting factor. At this moment, I'm not doing a deadlift meet anytime soon, or a meet where I need to worry about my grip strength. So I'm not going to worry about my grip strength. Using straps takes that out of the equation and gives me a little bit of extra wiggle room to pick up a little more weight and really work on the back without having my grip be something limiting, especially in this precarious angle of attack. It's going to really rip those hands up, and I don't really want that to happen right now. Moving on, 365 here for the next set of 5. Losing a little bit of balance here. You can see I'm kind of counteracting with my legs, but getting it done. I wanted to work up to 405 today, but knowing how that felt, I pretty much limited it to 385. So we're going to move on. Last set here is going to be just 385 for a set of 5. I'm not getting quite the range of motion, which I'm okay with that. I'm getting the range of motion on the lower weights. Really just wanted to hit the back with the weight and really just get that back to be taxed. Moving on, I got some rolling tricep extensions, 50-pound dumbbells. Really working on getting those elbows rolled back and keeping it in the tricep. Never hits the ground, never rests really at all. I try not to get it on my shoulders too much and just use that as kind of a pivot point. But these really, it's a great finisher for your bench press workout. Left a nice little, my shirt has a skull on the back, and so I left the Massonomics skull on the ground here, sweat stain. It's pretty cool. All right, day 2, moving on. I actually have a set schedule that I've got working forward to the animal cage, where I'm going to be doing an AMRAP, squat, bench, and deadlift. So this week's program has me doing squat and deadlift together. And what I'm basically doing is now working on sets of 2 and doubles. And so my last one up there with 595 on a squat bar, and that's the Texas squat bar from Texas Power Bars. Cerakoted Bazooka Green. So that's a really, really nice bar. And going to go for 640 for a double. My current PR on this is 691, done on kilo plates, last training cycle before Boss of Bosses. So this is not anywhere, it's within 50 pounds of my my 2-rep max, but I'm just now starting to feel the heavy weight again. So these are slowly but surely going to move up, probably 10, 20 pounds a week until we get to singles. And a little bit slow on the second rep there. Got a little bit out of the groove, but I'll take it. 640 for 2. And my deadlift program for today, working up to a heavy double in the cage of at least 800 for reps. So we're going to go 730 on the top set today for 2. My current PR was done about 3 weeks ago, and it was 715 for 3. And 715 for 2 before that was my double PR. So this is going to be a 15-pound PR attempt at Bona Fitness in Katy, Texas here. Got a little bit of a crowd, and got a little bit of a pump me up here. A couple people telling me to pull. And really that felt like a max effort lift on that first one. But we squeaked out a double here, and I feel really good about that. We're talking a lot of weight. 730 is about 40 pounds less ish or so, about 50 pounds less than my meet PR. So I'm happy with that. Definitely this time of the season. I'm going to finish out the day here with a new accessory that you guys may not have seen me do before. GHR, glute ham raise. Really working the hamstrings here. I remember when I couldn't do one of these, and then it took me a while to build up with some bands and kind of helping a little bit of assistance work, and now this is just a normal routine for me to be able to do some reps on these with almost 300 pounds body weight. So I'm really happy with how my hamstrings have developed over the years. Definitely has helped me with a lot of things, including and obviously with my deadlift. Let's start day 3 off on my shoulder and upper accessory day, showing you guys how I am going to be doing my rear delt flies here. So we've maxed out this machine several times. Had a little bit of snafu last week or the week before. And this week we're going to go ahead and just double the plates up with an extra pin. It's 325 pounds in plates and about 20 pounds or so in band tension hooked up to a dumbbell on the other side just to give it some something to hold on to. And this is the weight that I like to work with. This is, I need to go up and higher. My delts are definitely getting stronger. They are going to definitely help, and they are helping with bench stabilizing and exploding. That shoulder needs to be extremely strong for the style of benching that I do. Very much hydraulic pressing it and not a technical lift for me as much. So brute strength for bench is great. And those rear delts really help me move. These are my T3 raises, really working on that shoulder joint, just keeping it healthy. These are the fully extended dumbbell pullovers. Really getting a good squeeze and stretch on those pecs. Opening things up. And moving on to some chest supported dumbbell rows. These were a little bit tougher today. Not quite sure why. It may have just been because I really was able to hit those delts a little bit more. But these were supposed to be 150s. This gym only goes to 125, so I got a few sets of that. We've switched out the dumbbell bench for some close grip decline. First set here, just 315 for 10 reps. Definitely want to make sure I get a spot on this. I have the dumbbells there just in case, but I really feel a lot better if I have some side spots I just don't trust decline. There's no safeties, and it's a really precarious situation if you got that dumbbell dropped on your neck. This was supposed to be 10 reps, but it felt so good. I figured, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and burn these triceps out a little bit, and we're going to just go for an AMRAP. And the goal was 20, just kind of in my head. Wasn't sure where we were going to get. Right around 16, 17, 18, the lactic acid burned up so bad. I had to just safely had to call it at 18 and went ahead and just shut it down. Definitely appreciate any help I get. This is going to be my warm-up set. Now, obviously, I do a little bit of warm-up before this, but this is like my last warm-up for my tricep superset here. Got 200 on the plates with a 45-pound plate tacked on, and we've got 12 sets of 5. And this felt really, really good. The reason I say warm-up, obviously, I don't just jump into 200-pound push downs. I start with probably 100, 150 for about 8 reps, 190, 200, and then basically just getting them warm. Sped this up for your viewing pleasure, but definitely want to show you guys, and I'm definitely doing 12 total sets, and these are all with about 30 seconds rest in between. Sometimes I take a bathroom break, about set 6, just to give myself a little bit of time of rest there. I don't grow off of a lot of rest intervals per se. Typically try to stay with the rest intervals that are on the program, but for my type of training, especially this time of the season, I'm more worried about just moving the weight efficiently. Got some wide grip lat pull downs here, starting with the 170, just kind of bumping it up about 20 pounds each time, hitting about 8 reps each time, really working on those lats, getting a good squeeze at the bottom. And the final set here, 210 pounds for another set of 8. Progressively getting a little bit harder just because of the fatigue. This is definitely the last set of the day, so bringing it all and feeling very, very good. And that'll wrap it up for the video recap. Told you guys it was about 20 minutes, so I appreciate you guys watching it. Very, very excited that 530 pounds moved as easy as it did for 5. I'm actually really excited that I hit a PR on my deadlift, where I'm not actually, it's kind of funny because I say I'm not training deadlift, but I am, but my mindset is not on deadlifts or on squats. It's definitely 100% focused on bench, but I go into training on my squat and deadlift day with the mindset of obviously attacking the goal of the day. But it's basically I'm using those lifts as a bench accessory, if you will. And it's hard to kind of explain that. But basically, when I do my squat and my deadlift, my core is getting worked. Obviously, my legs are getting worked. My back is getting worked a heck of a lot more doing heavy deadlifts than just doing the rows that I would normally do. So that also can attribute for why my rows on my secondary bench day were a little bit laggy. It felt a little bit weaker because I'm still fatigued from heavy deadlifts literally the day before. So all of those things come into play. But this being the recap being on Sunday evening, about two days after this last day that you saw, which is about 4 days after my heavy squat and deadlift day, I feel literally 100% recovered. Now, would I necessarily want to go work out tomorrow? Preference would be no, because what I'm doing now is an 8-day split. So you guys may have heard me say that before. Instead of doing my bench day every Monday like I typically do, and basically there's a 7-day split, I have broken it down, and I'm doing Monday one on week 1, and then on my week 2 I'm doing on Tuesday, and then on week 3 going on Wednesday, and then kind of resetting it all basically on the deload weeks and starting it all back over. I am going to see how long I can make that last and see how much better I feel by doing that on my bench days. Not too concerned about the squat and deadlift days because those are really not, I say they're not heavy yet, they are, but I'm not putting so much emphasis on those lifts because I really feel like the only lift that's going to give me a real challenge at the animal cage for reps is going to be the one lift that I haven't done yet. Now, this is obviously not with straps, but is an 800-pound deadlift for reps. I feel like I'm already at an 800-pound deadlift. I just need to put it on the platform. But doing it for reps in front of a crowd in a situation like the animal cage, I think is very advantageous. But that's the goal. We're going to see what happens. But training for that, I need to obviously start doing some heavy doubles, working up to that point. But back to how it benefits my bench. When I am just doing bench only, I have a lot of downtime because I am not going to respond well myself. I don't respond well to a lot of heavy volume in this particular time of my training, and I don't respond well to going super heavy at this time of my training because it would be too early. So the gradual increase in weight and the gradual decrease in volume will come later on. I don't want to just sit around if I'm benching on Monday on 1 week, and then I'm, let's say, doing my day 3 and my shoulder and accessories and a little bit of bench on Thursday, then that means that I'm literally resting on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And to me, I need to be doing something in the gym. I need a little bit of activity. Now, I don't want to move around in the gym every single day. I don't want to necessarily be in the gym working out every single day. But if I can take an extra day, which is basically what I've done, because I normally work out 3 days a week, as you guys follow along. If I was only working out 2 days a week, I would have 5 days of rest. And that's just, to me, that's just a lot for myself. Now, if it was for a new lifter trying to get into lifting a little bit more volume, more days a week, maybe not every day a week, but maybe 4 or 5 days a week would probably benefit you guys a little bit better. But for me, I have a good balance of rest and workouts. If I take out my leg day, then I'm not going to the gym at all. I really just I start getting sore. My body just kind of is almost fighting me on it. It's hard to explain unless you're really in tune with your body, but if you guys know what I'm talking about, it's when you basically haven't worked out for a few weeks and you're itching to get back in the gym. It's that feeling if I don't get that third day in. So because I have a goal with the animal cage to do squat and deadlift, it helps me to obviously have that day to be able to go in. And if I wasn't doing leg press or light squats or light deadlifts, I wouldn't be doing anything. So in this particular case, until the animal cage, I will be doing heavy squats and deadlifts to the point of getting to my goal for the animal cage. As soon as the animal cage happens, or if something else happens in between now and then that keeps me from doing it, then I'll keep those in. But as soon as the animal cage is over, it will be a 3-day split still. But what I'll do is the squats and deadlifts will be at a very maintenance phase, like deadlifts for 500 for 5 reps, three times, or 3 sets of 5 reps, and then maybe 3 sets of 5 reps at 405 on squat, just to keep the legs going, but I'll still go to the gym on that particular day. So with all that said, it's obvious that I'm excited as we move forward. If you guys have followed my training for any length of time, or at least the last 2 or 3 months after Boss of Bosses, we backed things down quite a bit just because I kind of hit I don't want to say it's not a plateau, but I definitely hit a level of fatigue that my body had built up for the last year or so, building up to a bench only meet that I pulled out of last minute, and then did Boss of Bosses and did really well with the 2183 total. And went ahead and just jump into a bench only cycle and learn real quick that my body said, I don't think so, not this time. And I had to just kind of bite that pill and choke my ego a little bit. And it worked out very well because I feel so much better now. Had I kept pushing forward, it's probably a recipe for injury, probably not a good recipe to go forward, try to press 700 pounds. But here we are, I guess, 8.5, 9 weeks later, and now we're back into not quite meet prep. Obviously, meet prep is going to be when we start getting into the 600-pound range for reps, but we're getting very close. This next week, we do have 585 for 1, which doesn't sound like a lot considering where we've been or what we have done. but it is definitely a taste into the higher 500s. And then we're going to back it down with about a 540 or so set of 5, and that will set the tone depending on how the 585 looks and moves, and obviously how 540 feels for 5 will determine what we do the following week. We could very well be in the 600-pound range, possibly for reps, I would say within the next 4 weeks. We'll see. It really just is based on training and how everything feels from week to week. Definitely want to stay smart about it, but I'm feeling very, very good. The joints are feeling good. The shoulder's not bothering me near as much as it was before. I have run a round of peptides on it, and you guys are more than welcome. I'm not going to go into it this video. It's kind of long, but if you guys are interested at kind of how I was doing that, I'm definitely pro peptides if you can take them. If you have access to them, they definitely are almost kind of like a almost superhuman growth. Peptides, they help your body recover a lot faster, and if you're doing them the right way, the right regimen. I have done them twice where I've had a strain on a pec. It healed it up right before a meet, and it normally heals. With me, it's normally about a week, week and a half. Now, obviously, the more serious injuries, those probably aren't going to help too much. You need to probably do something more, a little more aggressive. But if you have something, a little nagging pain or a little arthritis possibly, or joints pains, things like that, and don't hold me to that because I'm obviously not a physician. I can't give advice like that. But from an athlete's point of view, from my own point of view, and what I have done, they've worked very well. But if you guys are interested in, just kind of hearing what it was, let me know, and maybe I'll do a whole video on that. If not, just message me, shoot a comment to me, or, shoot me a message on any of the social media platforms. I'd be happy to share with you kind of how I did that and what I was doing, because I think I just strained a bursa, or maybe partial rotator, just a little bit of irritation a couple weeks back. And I'm not sure exactly what irritated it, or else I'd want to figure it out, and just so I don't do it again. But it may just been, just pressing at one point in time, and just a little bit of irritation. And it doesn't hurt during pressing. It doesn't hurt during any kind of lifts or anything like that, except for just sitting here and literally just picking up my arm. I can feel it. So it's just a little bit of irritation. It's something that I definitely am in tune to, and went ahead and said, you know what, let's run a round of peptides on that, which is about a week and a half long, and it works great. But anyways, I would do a question and answer session. I didn't get a lot of questions submitted last week, or any ones that I thought would really be key to putting it on video. But I did have a suggestion, actually from my wife, to bring you guys kind of a new segment and see if you guys like it. Maybe we'll call the other one Swim Hacks Q&A, and we'll call this one like, Swim Hacks Tip of the Week, or Swim Hacks, favorites. And so one that I came up with this week that I get asked quite a bit, and it's, what is my favorite music, or what do I listen to, when I'm training or for a big lift, what amps me up? So I am very, very diverse with music. I like just about every kind of music there is. There's probably one type of song in every single genre of music, or one song in every genre of music that I could at least get into or like, or that's maybe on one of my playlists somewhere. I do have Spotify playlists, but I have them all basically just kind of scattered. I have one that's called Starred, and I think that was just what they called their star, whatever, when you star a song, it puts in this playlist. And I have probably 400 or 500 songs in this playlist that range from rock, rap, dubstep, dance, electronic, maybe one or two country songs. I'm not really a huge country fan, even though I'm from Texas, but I do like a few. I just can't lift to them. It's hard for me to lift to country music. It's more like when you're driving down the road, or you're hanging out, just chilling. That's kind of where I can listen to that. But rock and rap, something with a beat, or I'm not really into too much of the screaming. But there are a few, like I like, as far as bands are concerned, some of the ones that are on my playlist right now would be like Fire from the Gods. I like a lot of their stuff. The Non-Point, all the way down to let's say, well, some of my oldest stuff that I like is like some of the original Phil Collins. Not, I like Genesis, but there's a few songs from Genesis. I'm not a crazy Genesis fan. It's more of the original Phil Collins, like, but seriously, In the Air Tonight, things like that. Those kind of that era, maybe the 80s to the early 90s ish, Phil Collins when he was solo. That's probably my favorite artist if I had to pick one, but I can't really listen to his songs unless I'm deadlifting, which is kind of strange. I like to listen to some slower stuff, which is weird. I know when I'm deadlifting, typically you think aggression, but I am typically the opposite. Now, when it's coming to bench, I don't listen to the words a lot in the music unless I'm resting. So when I'm lifting, I actually have to have a good beat on, something I can hear and feel, but I'm not necessarily hearing. So I'll probably one of these weeks I'll put together a Spotify playlist that that has kind of everything on it, and I'll share it with you guys and let you guys know when it's out there. But overall, favorite music, I would pretty much say it's so broad that I can't say that there's one particular genre of music. If you guys like Octane on Sirius XM, that's one of my favorite stations. And then I also listen to I switch between Hip Hop Nation or Shade 45. I kind of get a little irritated with those guys sometimes because they play some, what I feel, now I know it's XM and it's like worldwide and there's a lot of different tastes in music, but they play some crappy music sometimes and I'm just like, oh, I got to turn the channel. So, it's just certain like newer artists I'm not real crazy about. I'm not real crazy about newer rap. I just think the rap industry has gone, and some of you guys are going to hate on this, I know, but I like, now I love some of the East Coast rap. I like some of the West Coast rap. It's old school basically. And obviously being from Houston, Third Coast rap. So the Dirty South rap. And I actually like a lot of like DJ Screw, old DJ Screw. Obviously, DJ Screw's not around anymore. But growing up in Alief, multicultural town or multicultural, I guess, inner city, I was around a lot of different types of people, and so I knew a lot of different types of music, a lot of different cultures. So rap is totally ingrained in me, and I like the beat mostly. I'm not real crazy about like the thug life. Mentality, I'm not into that. I do like the gangster rap, but I don't like necessarily what they're saying in it because a lot of it's just violent. But the beat on most of the stuff is really, really good. Same thing with anything, like a lot of the heavy metal. Some of them are just screaming about just nonsense for the most part. I'm not necessarily listening to the lyrics on those words and things like that, and I'm not necessarily agreeing with those songs, but I definitely like the beat, the melody, and things like that. There's some bands like A Perfect Circle and Tool. Those are probably some of my favorites. Once again, I like some of the songs as far as what they're saying, and kind of like some of the new Perfect Circle stuff is talking about basically the world and the stage of the state of the world that we're in, and how there's a lot of violence, and of course Fire from the Gods also talks about stuff like that. But that's not really why I'm listening to the song. It's not listening to the song for the meaning. It's really just listening to it because it sounds good in my eardrums, and I like to have, and that's why I wear those big headphones, is because I can hear the bass and the beat and feel the music, and that's why I like dance and things like that. But I don't know if I'm a connoisseur of music, if you will. I do like some old opera, classical beats and things like that. But it's just, and I say beats, but music, and I'm pretty well versed in music that way. I don't really know music. I don't know how to play music. I kind of wish I did, but it's just a skill that I haven't learned. But that's kind of some background into my musical interest. I definitely like to lift to music. I like to feel the music while I'm lifting, and that's why I typically always have music on in the background or headphones. It really puts me into a state of mind. I've had a couple of old school lifters make fun of me for having headphones on, which, go ahead. I mean, I'm the one putting up the numbers. So if I want to wear headphones, I'm going to wear headphones. But I guess as long as I'm not wearing gloves, right? Anyways, so that's going to wrap it up for the Swim Hacks likes and dislikes, or whatever we're going to call it. Favorites. We'll call it something something cool for you guys to kind of follow along. But if you guys have interest in certain things, what kind of food that I like, things like that, let me know. I might do a segment on that in the following weeks. But stay tuned. Week 68 is going to be very exciting. We have one more week before we think. Let's see. Before we go into a deload week. So we're going to ramp it up one more time after this week. So stay tuned. Very, very exciting times coming up. We've got to stay safe and injury free and just kind of keep on trucking. And hope you guys stick along for the journey. If you guys haven't already and you like this video, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up, like it. If you haven't already subscribed and you like this video and you want more of it, I definitely have a lot of older videos. I'm going to be coming out with a lot of newer videos. The idea is to come out with you guys once a week with a recap. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe bell, and I will come to you guys once a week and teach you guys what I know. I'm not saying I know everything, but I'll definitely show you guys what I'm doing. I like to be an open book. If you guys have questions, definitely hit me up. If you guys are on Instagram, definitely check me out over there at SwimHack. I post up quite a number of things that maybe you don't see over here on YouTube. So if you guys are on Instagram, you want to check me out over there, definitely follow me. And maybe we'll talk soon. And I definitely answer DMs. So if you have questions like that, definitely check me out. If you guys are interested in a bench program or a full power program, something that I definitely offer on my website, benchonly.com. Go ahead and check those out. I do have a special from time to time. Right now, I think I know my bench and my full power program 2.0 are on special. Just go ahead and check those out. I've helped about, I think we're up to over 1,100 programs that I've sold in the last year or so. So a lot of guys are happy with those. I don't just sell those just because, I want to sell programs. I really do want to help you guys get to the next level. I have written every single one of my programs myself. No help from anybody else as far as, writing the programs. I definitely take a lot of information from my current training, from my past training, and I take a lot of information from other people to formulate what I'm doing. Obviously, I have a coach myself, but as far as my programs are concerned, anybody that is on those can rest assured that that's something that I have personally have my hand on, and it's not coming from somebody else or reselling. So I don't want you guys to think that. I know there's a lot of people out there doing that with programs, but those are definitely genuinely my programs that I am sharing with you guys, and they're not written for you, like they're not basically customized, but they are a templated format, but they're based on your lifts. So you get a kind of a one-size-fits-all, but a lot of people have had great success with them. Occasionally, I do have coaching spots open up. If you guys are interested in more of a one-on-one situation, I can't promise that I can work with you one-on-one because there's a lot of people that are asking about it. But if a spot opens up at the right time and you guys just happen to message me, then go ahead and feel free and see if we got one available. If not, maybe we can talk in the future or something. But I'd love to help you guys out, kind of spread the wealth. But that is going to wrap it up for the week 67 video recap. And I really do appreciate each and every single one of you guys. Once again, if you haven't already, please subscribe. I want to give you guys information as much as I can. And I will see you guys next week on week 68. See ya.